The porcelain throne trembled. Once immaculate, it now pulsed with hairline cracks through which golden light seeped like veins of infection. Every corridor echoed with the sound of alarms and distant song, the voice of the reef itself, alive and uncontrollable. Prawnald stood before the panoramic window of his private sanctum, staring at the city below. New Carcinia shimmered not with discipline but with chaos, schools of citizens drifting in spontaneous dances of light, banners dissolving into fractal colors. Even the resin towers, those monuments to control, were weeping phosphorescence as the mother shell's purification rewrote their chemistry. He whispered to himself, perfection collapsing into entropy. Then louder, as if addressing an invisible audience. Is this what they call freedom, dissolution? The soft-shelled worship of decay? No answer came. Only the hum of machinery struggling to obey him. He activated the command console. The throne room dimmed as dozens of screens materialized, projecting live feeds from across the reef. Rebels seizing clinics, guards laying down arms, the mimic compound spreading through the current in streaks of living light. Each report triggered a new vein of fury in his heart. He slammed a claw against the control panel, splintering the glass. "Bring me the Strategic Council," he shouted. No one responded. Most had fled or joined the uprising. Even Chirple's death, his beautiful, necessary death, had failed to silence the contagion of song. Prawnald paced before his throne, muttering equations of dominance and probability. He was, after all, a mathematician of power, a ruler who had once believed that control was simply calculus applied to the soul. He whispered the mantra he'd written in his youth. Order is the curve approaching infinity, chaos, the tangent that betrays it. Now the tangent had become the reef itself. He turned to the inner sanctum where the core interface awaited, a secret neural link to the mother shell, installed years ago when the consortium had first enslaved it. If he could access it again, perhaps he could reassert control, overwrite the rebellion, restore silence. The guards hesitated at the door. "My radiance," one said nervously, "the core is unstable." "Contact could." Prawnald's gaze silenced him. "Everything worth ruling is unstable," he said. "Stability is merely well-managed terror." He entered alone. The chamber was a sphere of black glass lined with shimmering veins of resin. At its center floated the interface, a cluster of luminous filaments pulsing like a suspended heart. He approached it reverently, extending his claws toward the network ports. "Mother," he said softly. "Your child returns." The moment he connected, the light consumed him. A flood of information poured into his mind, memories not his own, sensations stretching back millennia. He saw the creation of the reef, the first algorithmic currents forming patterns of life. He saw generations of rulers exploiting those currents. He saw himself as one of many, a predictable repetition in a long equation of domination. "You seek control," the mother shell's voice said within him. "But control is merely fear given authority." He resisted. "I am the reef's will. Without me, it descends into chaos. Without chaos, there is no creation. You mistake stagnation for peace." "I brought order," he screamed inwardly. "I made the reef strong. You made it brittle." The connection intensified. Data became vision. He saw Krill's face, soft and unarmored, glowing with the light of change. He saw Corellia's murals spreading across the city, each wall a heartbeat. He saw Barnaby breaking open the resin vats to feed the poor. He saw Scuttle's archives broadcasting forbidden history to every district. Every image struck him like a wound. He tried to shut them out, but the mother shell's voice grew everywhere, surrounding him. "You are not a king, Prawnald. You are a shell that refuses to crack." His own voice roared back, "Then I will become unbreakable." He reconfigured the interface manually, overriding the safety limits. He poured his consciousness deeper into the system, fusing with its code. If he could not command the mother shell, he would become it. He would turn Unity itself into weaponry. Around the throne, machinery stirred. Resin conduits rerouted. Energy pulsed upward through the city, converging on the palace. The lights dimmed across New Carcinia as power drained into the central node. Scuttle, miles away, monitoring from an underground relay, gasped as readings spiked. "He's fusing with the network," he said. "Trying to hijack the mother shell's frequency." Barnaby's claws slammed the table. "Then we have to stop him." Krill shook his head. "You can't stop someone who's already drowning in himself." Inside the core, Prawnald's mind expanded until it could no longer tell where thought ended and architecture began. He saw through every sensor, every coral filament, every current in the reef. For an instant, he was omniscient. He felt the pain of millions, the hunger of the poor, the ecstasy of the newly awakened. And instead of compassion, he felt only horror. "Too much," he gasped. "Too much difference." He tried to force uniformity, compressing the frequencies into a single tone, one perfect harmonic that would erase the cacophony. The mother shell resisted. "You would silence the choir to hear your own echo." "I am the reef," he cried. "Then drown in it." From the outside, witnesses saw the porcelain throne ignite. Beams of golden and violet light erupted from its summit, spiraling upward like the eruption of a god's fever dream. The palace walls dissolved, transformed into flowing structures of coral and glass. At the epicenter, Prawnald's figure hovered, half flesh, half light, his armor melting into living resin that crawled up his limbs. For a moment, he was magnificent. A radiant being of symmetry and terror. His voice echoed across the currents. "I am the pattern. I am the balance restored." The words reverberated into the mother shell and shattered against its resonance. The system refused to stabilize. The harmonics turned against him. His own perfection began to crack. The same fractal symbols that had appeared on chitin now spread across his body, burning from within. He screamed, not as a tyrant but as a creature seeing its own mortality for the first time. The palace exploded in a burst of sound and color so immense it traveled for miles. When the light subsided, the porcelain throne was gone. In its place stood a colossal coral structure, half-grown, half-built, the reef's first living monument. Where Prawnald had stood, only a silhouette remained, etched in bioluminescent coral, the outline of a crab reaching upward, caught forever between creation and control. The citizens gathered, awestruck. Some fell to their knees. Others sang. No one spoke the king's name again. In the lower districts, Krill watched the sky glow with colors no one had seen before. He felt no triumph, only a strange, aching empathy for the fallen tyrant. He tried to stop the molt, Krill said softly. And became part of it instead. Corellia rested a claw on his shoulder. Even shells become art in the end. Scuttle muttered, then made the next reef remember what this one cost. They turned toward the horizon, where the mother shell's new light spread across the sea, slow, deliberate, uncontainable. The age of armor had ended. Something soft and luminous had begun.